No, I'm not saying that fake Christians are hypocrites. I'm saying that they are either hypocrites or Pharisees or haven't learned well and they follow some of the hypocrite or Pharisee ideals. And I don't have perfect clarity on everything because I've grown up in modern day society as well, but I've been very uh, into studying misconceptions. I've been addicted to studying misconceptions and things. And I'm just seeing more and more and more. And I'm not blessed with the best memory. I'm blessed with an okay memory. But I have a list. But when I see stuff, I write it down. And it's in my books. Some of my books, some of it is. I got a lot of new stuff now. But fake Christians, we've been fooled by misinterpreting the Bible and saying that, God says no to alcohol, for instance. Alcohol is talked about as being a medicine in the Bible. And so people are real strong against that. And I guess I'm going to become more and more bold on that. It's 100% true that the warnings are big and that it's dangerous, it's risky, but it's not. He does not say not to do it. He doesn't act like it's a sin or unpardonable sin. Now, drunkenness he calls a sin, but it's not drunk. It's not a sin if you're coming out of surgery to get drunk. That for the doctor to get you drunk, to go into surgery, and that's with whatever pain medicine. So, really, if you think about it, the rules of alcohol apply to the whole Bible. So that's not. We're fake in a lot of ways because, and I can't think of everything right now. I was just going to do a real short one, but maybe I'll think of another thing here outside of that tricky subject of is it okay to what's the difference between buzz and drunk and all that kind of stuff. Well, I will say this: I am not the type of person who gets mad and hates somebody who went and got drunk. I just say get up, get up and move on the next day and don't do it again. Or work not to do it again, and if you do it again next time, don't go overboard. That's my view. I say try not to ever drink again. But if they do, it's not the end of the world. If they're doing it every day, that's another thing. That's really what the Bible speaks against. I think it says not to worship the creation more than the Creator. It says that in marriage. It says that in sex. It says it with drugs. It alludes to that with drugs, and not to worship the earth, the beauty of the earth, more than the Creator. We take it as from God. So they that worship the Lord must worship Him in spirit and in truth. What gets left out a lot of times is His Spirit. So Satan knows God's truth, but he's not. He twists it. He doesn't have a spirit of love. He doesn't have, and then there's the fake spirits of love. So there's a lot of tricks out there, but it's pretty clear over time. You have no compassion for people. Are you a Christian if you don't have any compassion for people? Or are you a Pharisee? So a hypocrite knows they're a hypocrite. That's the difference between a Pharisee and a hypocrite. A Pharisee doesn't realize it a lot of times. They think they're just better. They've followed the rules, certain rules better. But here's the problem with that. No matter how many rules you follow, you're still breaking some rules. And so there are some people who have never drank in their whole life, never had a beer in their whole life, and they might be really mean-spirited, judgmental, kick people down, nitpicking, oppressing, shaming, instead of redeeming and those kind of things that God teaches, loving their neighbors proper. So that those sins that sin is a rejection of God's Spirit, which is the only unpardonable sin. If you're doing that all the time, so you're a straight up Pharisee. I'm not going to say everybody that has signs of Phariseeism is a heart Pharisee. So they're not necessarily fake, but it's easy to buy into rules because rules can be good for a lot of stuff, right? Obviously, if you can keep all the rules, it's better for your pocket. But your pocket's not everything. That's not supposed to be the whole purpose of it. The purpose of it is to redeem the time and to be able to be unblameable generally. So I say that because some people take that and say, oh, you have to be without blame or you're not a Christian. That's not it. God knows we can fall. Samson God still gave him victory at the end of his life, but he fell for the looking for love in all the wrong places. Hey, I don't know who sang that song. It's not my song, and so it's no public domain there. But it's a funny thought, right? So he's looking. That's an old song, but looking for love in the wrong places. He thought he liked Delilah, but she didn't. I'm not going to say she didn't like him. I don't know the story exactly, but she was with the enemy government, you know, that was opposed to, I think it's Israel. I don't know. You have to double check all that. But he fell for it. They ended up, he gave up his secret. He's the strongest man in history, probably by a miracle. His strength was in his hair, and he cut his hair off. Uh, they told him that the secret was in his hair. He told her, lied to her 3 times. I think maybe the third time told her on one particular day. They cut his hair off. They came to fight him. They overtook him because he didn't have his strength anymore, and they poked his eyes out and blinded him and made him a slave. Doing a tourniquet. I don't know if you call it a tourniquet, but what they put horses on and spinning. He was tied to a bar and spinning wheel or something. And but in the end, God gave him victory. He gave him strength again. He prayed for redemption, and he took down the whole city. Most of the city, at least, was in the some big building, and he stood between 2 pillars to maybe be made fun of or something. I don't know, and he pushed the pillars apart. He got his strength back, pushed the pillars, and the whole building fell. He died with them, but he took down the city. So that was that a good thing to take down a city? But it was an enemy city at the time. They were at war, apparently, or it was like they could be at war, I guess. I don't know that part. But so it was. So he had the strength to defeat the city. In the end, he was redeemed by God. Bottom line. So I don't know why they were at war or fighting, if they deserved to die or whatever. But they did poke his eyes out for no reason. I won't say for no reason, but they've attacked him many a times. Maybe he was a protector. I don't understand the whole story, but maybe he was a protector of Israel. And because he did kill, I think it was 2,000 men with a jawbone of a donkey. That when he had his strength before, but they were attacking him, as far as I know. So that apparently the city kept attacking, and they wanted him out of the way because he was as strong as an army by himself. I mean, that's strong. But anyways, but Samson wasn't fake. He was a real believer in God, and he was looking for love in all the wrong places. And I've been there, done that. But and people think I'm fake. Some people think I'm fake because of my faults, and faults similar to faults as Samson. But I'm not fake. I believe in God, and I believe in trying to live pure and the best I can, taking care of my body. And it's a battle, though. I admit it's a battle, and I fail at it, and I keep fighting to do it. And I mainly want to do it it feels good for one, but to be healthy. But I do it to redeem the time and be able to share more with people, just truth. I think it's imperative that we share truth today, because there's so many lies out there. It's, how do we know if we're sharing an emotion or the Holy Spirit sometimes? I don't always know if I'm sharing an emotion or the Spirit, but if it's a good emotion, that's not bad. But I don't want to claim that it's a spirit, but I do know how to share facts. And I can do a lot of that, and that can open somebody's eyes to the Spirit of God. So I believe in that, and I work hard at it, and I hope I can get better at it too. And I hope I can know what's more important to share and what's the best venues to do it, because we are blocked. Like, I don't know if anybody will ever see this. And even if they have a chance to see it, will they get past any of the boring parts? Or the parts where I say, well, I'm not real sure about that whole thing. Well, I like being honest and telling you I don't know the whole thing, and I don't have time to go study that little story. But I'm about to run out of time on this camera here. And it's going to cut me off. So I'm just going to, I guess I'll stop with that. But no, I'm not just calling, I'm bringing it out. I'm not calling out at this point to hate on people. I'm not calling people fake to hate on them. I'm calling it out to wake some people up, so people recognize what's real, and to understand, Jesus is real. He died and rose from the dead. We all die. It's pretty clear. And so we need to trust that. It's faith that matters. It's really faith in that matters. It's not how I feel that matters. Now, it does bring good feelings and hope because we always have a hope of heaven, but His Spirit also brings that hope and compassion for people. And if we're not sharing Colossians chapter 3, I think it is, bear one another's burdens and those kind of things, we might be a hypocrite who lies and says we believe in Christ and we love money or something. Or we might be a Pharisee who's just too judgmental and we're not saved because we believe in all our success instead of real belief. So I have to end because it's going to cut off. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love, 1 John 4:8.